with Jessie from the Aggrolites.
Hi.
Oh, she said she know me all the time. Hey, I cannot wait to come home to what is my. All right. Yeah, my beat is fine. Home to my baby tonight. Finding on a real night. All right.
Are you enjoying the festival so far?
Oh, yeah.
Back to the beach?
I'm sunburnt and tired because yesterday was a hell of a day, but I've been having a blast.
It was. So I saw you play on stage yesterday with Hepcat.
Yes.
But that's not the first time I've seen you play with them. Do you think that you'll join the band officially?
I don't think I would ever join the band officially because Lino Trujillo, who was playing the guitar, he's the OG original Hepcat guitarist. I grew up on that band since I was a little boy. Not a little boy, maybe a 14-year-old, 13-year-old kid.
Okay.
And that was the band that introduced me to ska and reggae and the whole world. If there wasn't for Hepcat, there would be no Aggrolites or anything like that. And I was fortunate enough to meet those guys when I was a teenager and became friends with them, and they liked my playing because I was in a band called the Rhythm Doctors.
Cool.
So they've been inviting me to do like jam with them and stuff like that, and Lino's pretty much my mentor, the guy that I learned off of. So whenever they do big festivals like this, or if Lino can't do a tour because he's got 2 kids and a wife and a regular job,
Yeah.
they call me up as the sub guy or the guy to just like, jam out with Lino because it's fun. So
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like the official, unofficial member, like I'm kind of in but kind of not.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's really fun. I saw you also went to Mexico City with them recently.
Yes. That was one of those things where Lino couldn't make it because he had to work and he had the family and all that. So they had me sub for Lino.
Which is not a bad sub position to do.
Yeah.
You get to be here at all these awesome festivals, see all the other bands on the bill.
And that's the
play
other
some
thing too, because
songs.
I'm stoked on today because of Fishbone and the Untouchables, but yesterday was the show where it was crazy. All these trailers were packed with every band we've toured with like multiple times. We had Mad Caddies were here, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones were over here. Yesterday felt like the ska prom or like the high school ska reunion, I don't know, it's just crazy. And everybody was happy. It wasn't like a tour where it's like, you're on the road with this other band for 4 weeks and you got those bad days and it's like, hey, we're on the beach and it's a Saturday and everybody's in a good mood. So
yeah, and everyone's
awesome.
having a good time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost like what people say the Warped Tour was, except for this is kind of like specifically ska. The last time we spoke, we talked about your first new album in 7 years.
Yes.
You said it was about 50% done.
Yes.
Do you guys have a release date set for it yet?
No, we don't.
No.
And there is reasoning behind that is because we're doing it we're done with the record. It's
Okay.
14 songs, it's mixed, it's ready to go. But we're taking our time, we'll release it when we're ready.
Yeah.
It was always kind of pressuring it in the beginning. It was like, we got to get an album out. We took a good 8 years or 7 years, like you said, to where we just took our time, kind of cut down on the touring, and we're doing the same thing with the record. We took our time to write it. We came up with, a little session here and there. We'd get together, write a song or something, and we took our time on recording it. So we're going to take our time on releasing it,
For sure.
So.
But the clips I've heard on Instagram sound so good.
Thank you. Thank you
this
very
new
much.
record, it's going to be totally worth the wait. I mean,
Yes.
it makes me sad that it's been 7 years, but I'm excited that there's one coming. It's
Yes,
done.
thank you. Yes.
It's on the way.
It will be there, but no date. We could keep you on your toes about that.
You have another band called Reggae Workers of the World.
Yes.
Can you talk about that project?
Yeah, I'm in a group, Reggae Workers of the World is me, and then Vic Ruggiero, who is the lead singer of the Slackers, and this guy named Nico Leonard, who's from Belgium. He lives in Charleroi, Belgium. I don't know if I've said that right. But anyways, he's a drummer from a band called the Moon Invaders, and Nico's a great drummer. Whenever the Aggrolites would tour Europe and our drummer Alex wouldn't be able to go to Europe, Nico would fill in and play drums for Alex in Europe. So he's this amazing drummer, and on top of that, he has his own recording studio at his house in his basement. So Vic, who is by far one of the most talented guys I've ever met in my life, is always just constantly making music, and he came up with this great idea of doing like a little solo, like a acoustic tour,
Yeah.
throughout Europe, and then on the days off, go back to Nico's house and record a record. And he thought of calling it Reggae Workers of the World because, you got a guy from California, you got a guy from New York, and you got a guy from Belgium, and we all get together. We're kind of like the Reggae Workers of the World unite.
That's really cool.
So yeah, we did one album. It came out a couple years ago, and then this summer, in June to July, we're gonna fly out to Europe again and tour the new record, which is going to be released.
That.
It's going to be released, I think, in May sometime. You could find it at Batasonic Records. So we have a 45 of the new album, new song, two new, a little single 45, but the full length will be in May.
And then will you be, I saw that you're coming up, you're playing a couple shows at Punk Rock Bowling. Will you have those records for sale there as well?
You know what? I might, yeah. And if I don't have those, I'll definitely have the first Reggae Workers of the World.
Things won't be the same. I remember you telling me that this ain't where you want to be, Lord.
I also saw that you recently played some shows with Trulio Disgracias, the bass player from Fishbone's other band.
Yes.
What was that like performing together?
No, that was awesome. I was so stoked to be invited to do that. So it's I believe it was their 30-year reunion or something, and the great thing is it's a big jam session. So he brings up just tons of musicians on stage. It's kind of like if you ever seen Parliament Funkadelic concert, it's just like a non-stop party.
Yeah.
And George Clinton will have a song go for 15-20 minutes straight,
That's awesome.
And everything's just jam. It's just we like to call it free balling. They just go for it. There's no nothing's rehearsed really,
Yeah.
But this last month we did this it was a residency at the Mint in Hollywood in LA, and it was every Wednesday, which was he had themes. So the first week was the theme was BB King.
Okay.
And they did an entire record of BB King's from beginning to end. I got to sing 2 of the songs. The second Wednesday, the theme was Stoned.
Okay.
So I did a Ray Charles song called Let's Go Get Stoned. And, they did Bob, what's his name? Bob Dylan.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
a
Bob
Rolling
Dylan.
Stone. He
I was
did
like, wait,
that,
that's
and-
not Bob Marley.
No,
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Third week was Blowfly.
Okay.
Fourth week, the theme was Pink Floyd, and that was awesome because the drummer of Jane's Addiction sat in and played with us, and the sax player of Pink Floyd played with us also, and Craig Robinson, the comedian.
Oh yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
He
was
came
there.
out and sang on stage with us too.
Oh, he actually sang too?
Yeah, he's a great musician. If you guys don't know that, Craig Robinson is an amazing keyboard player, and he's got great vocals and everything. So he's just as good a musician as he is a funny comedian actor.
North to south, south to east, everybody like that. Reggae, 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 reggae. Good banana, white banana.
Back in 2007, the Aggrolites played on Tim Armstrong's solo album,
Yes.
A Poet's Life.
Yes.
And that album was just released for the first time on vinyl last week for Record Store Day.
Yeah.
What memories did that bring up with that record coming out again from making that album 11 years ago?
Oh, it made me. I was just happy to see those videos again, and I'm happy that album is on vinyl now because Tim did an amazing job. Organizing that whole thing. He trusted us with our sound, but when he took it and made it his sound, and I don't know, dude. The guy's a genius with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's it's really easy to take our music and screw it up, and he did the exact opposite.
He's an extremely talented producer, and I think that he knows what he wants when he's making something, and that's how he's able to kind of work with artists in the studio. Even if you don't necessarily know what's going on, he has the vision and knows what he wants to see from it.
Yeah, it's like if you were to randomly come up to me and be like, hey man, I got this old skinhead reggae song I want to show you, but I added a DJ, what do you call it, scratching,
Yeah.
I would be like, but he did it. He took that, put that in the album. It sounds awesome. You know what I mean? Just the ideas that comes out of that guy's head is
So
amazing.
can you share some stories from the recording process of making that album?
Man,
I know it was 11 years ago, but
no,
something
I
that
mean,
stands out in your mind.
What stands out in my mind is we actually recorded that before we recorded our self-titled record, which was the first Hepcat release that we put out. And what happened was Tim had called, and I don't forget who he arranged it with, but said, I want to get in the studio with you guys before you guys record your record.
Yeah.
And we did, I forget if it was like just 1 or 2 days or something, but he came in and he'd show us his songs, and they would be like acoustic guitar, and they were Tim type songs, like awesome, catchy, really good tunes. And we'd be like, well, what do you want us to do? He's just, make it dirty reggae. So we'd all get in a huddle, and okay, guys, the chords are G, D, whatever. Let's do this style. We got nicknames like we call like Papa Top, or we got different styles of reggae, and it's like our lingo that we use. Let's do this halftime. Let's do this double time. Let's 4 on the floor.
Yeah.
And we did all these things, and then gave it to him. Didn't know what it was for. He didn't say it was going to be a solo album or anything. Yeah. We even did a track for the guy that joined Blink 182.
Well, Matt Skiba.
Yeah. What's that?
Alkaline Trio.
Alkaline Trio.
Yeah.
So he even had us do a rhythm for them, and it was the coolest thing. He took Matt Skiba's voice and like just soloed it, and then had us play a rhythm in the key. And then took Matt's voice and put it over our rhythm, and that was a Tim Armstrong like mix of it.
That's
so
awesome.
just cool, like creativity. Like it was just a creative time. And the funny thing is, after we were done working with Tim, then it was our turn to do the Aggrolites record, and you would think that we'd be like ready to go.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, crap, we already used this idea, and we used this idea. So there's a lot of songs where it's like, if you listen close, you can hear like the same kind of rhythms and stuff. It was just that was all done in that same week.
Because you had brainstormed for your album,
exactly.
and then that opportunity comes up, and of course you're not going to say no.
Yeah. So The Poet's Life and self-titled Aggrolites, if you listen to them back to back, you could tell it's almost the same, pretty much the same sessions.
That's
it was
interesting.
The same sessions.
I'll have to listen to that later.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Right. Don't poke me in the eye. What's up? This is Jesse with the Aggrolites, and you're watching Last Rockers TV.
What's up with the Aggrolites?